Bricks Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
Hi, my name is Nate Funk. I'm here at Bricks Cascade 2024. This is my own creation, my mock, I guess. There are 68 monochrome minifigure habitats, and each one has kind of its own story. I started about 3 years ago collecting just the monochrome minifigures and got a bunch of those and kind of was having fun with it. So then I started adding accessories and things, and then they started kind of turning into little stories. So I built, got inspired by someone else who had online I saw who had done something very similar and did the 8x8 vignettes. And then as I continued to collect more pieces, started growing them into the 8x16 habitats they are now. But it's been a process over about 3 years collecting pieces and playing around with how to make them work and the little stories in them. So my favorite one is probably the metallic silver up here in the top left. That one's just, it's really fun. It's a really fun color. It also is, there's only a handful of pieces and they came in like two or three sets, I think. So just actually finding all those pieces was a little tough, but I happened to have a bunch. Someone who used to work at my store put them in a drawer every time he found one, so they were just there waiting for me when I wanted to do it. But it's great, yeah. The red one I'm also fond of. That was one of the first ones I created as an 8x6, 8x8. It was just the original guitar player, but then once I expanded to 8x16, I had to add some vocals. But that was one of the first ones I did, so I've always had a little soft spot for that one. Another one I like a lot is the gold. There's a lot of pieces in gold. It was kind of hard to make the structure of it, but using the fence pieces, it was all right. But there's so many neat little accessories and other little accoutrements to add in gold. So it was a lot of fun to kind of put that one together. The hardest thing was finding out what I couldn't put in there. It's like there's so many different things you can put on the minifigure or in their hands, but I had to leave a lot of it out. So just deciding on what to do was hard. But
I love this color next to that. It's just like so intense ever since LEGO released that.
Neon yellow, yeah. That's obviously a brand new one. They don't have a minifigure yet. They make the minifigure torso. I have a plain torso in that color, but that's it. I thought it'd be a little awkward to put just that out there, so I left it out. But that one, yeah, just came out last year maybe, I think, or yeah, so it's pretty new, but I was able to cobble together enough of the bricks to do that. The frogs are kind of the only interesting aspect of that one.
What about further down? What are some of your favorites as you get into kind of the blues and purples here?
Yeah, the Minecraft one is kind of fun. That's one of the only ones I would say that kind of stayed with like a LEGO theme or some recognizable thing, because they happened to obviously have a Minecraft character in that color, or all the pieces in that color, and then I built it in a very square Minecrafty way. So I kind of like that one. All the other ones are a little more unique or individual, but that one's kind of fun. The blue, the regular blue old spaceman, that was another one of the first ones I did, and that one, some of the other ones morphed into different things when I moved on from 8x8 to 8x16. That one pretty much stayed the same. Same with the red. Maybe that's why I kind of like them, because I still holding on to the originals. That was another one of the very first ones I did. Was able to find all the blue to make that spaceman, obviously jumping around in space. So that was kind of fun.
Some of my favorites, I think you've got a couple here where they're kind of like minifigs battling some beasts.
Yep, battling some dragons, or I don't know. That's an old school LEGO dinosaur head, but we'll call it some kind of dragon with a horn on top. Yeah, kind of battling. Some of them, yeah, they all have little different stories. Usually it's either someone kind of in some situation where they're battling or searching or traveling, or it's kind of like their throne room maybe, or their little habitat. Other ones are, if there wasn't a minifigure, I tried to just put a little, either some symmetry or some other texture in them to make them kind of interesting.
This tan one up top here is really interesting too, with both the minifig and then the kind of giant figure there behind him.
Yeah, that one was fun. My son, Max, who's 8, helped me build that one. He built most of that one. It was his idea to do the big statue in the back with the arms and the hands. So we stuck those in there, and then had him kind of I guess he's like an archaeologist, digging around, looking around for stuff. But yeah, my son Max helped me build that one.
What are some of the harder colors or most difficult pieces that you've included in some of these here?
Some of the harder colors to find, it was a little surprising with, I thought some would be harder than others, but obviously the retired ones are a little harder just because they're not around anymore by nature of being retired. So I think it's called light bright orange there, and basically in the middle with the little bear. That was a really hard color to find. There's just not that many sets that came with those pieces, and it's been retired for a while. The old regular brown was also somewhat of a tough one. They use that color a lot, but there weren't that many pieces to kind of build the structure with. So it was a little harder to get. It was easy to find a minifigure and some accessories, but the structure of that one was a little harder. The translucent ones, for the most part, were the hardest ones, though, because they just don't make that many pieces in those colors, especially like once in a while you'd be able to find like a 1x4 brick, but usually it's 1x2 bricks and a lot of small pieces. So trying to build up a frame of that was usually a little harder. The one nice like that one came with the columns come in that color, so it made it a little easier.
And then since these are all individual rooms, what's that like when you transport and set that up and bring that to the show here?
Luckily, it wasn't too challenging to pack them up because they each come apart. Everyone comes apart into its own little unit. So I just stacked them all in a couple bins, kind of wrapped them with some towels over the top to make sure they didn't bounce around too much. And actually, I think they all made it for the most part without too much damage. A couple things fell off here and there. The biggest accident was when I was putting them together. I just was clumsy and dropped one, dropped the clear one, the transparent clear up there. I dropped it and had to rebuild it. So that one actually is completely different than it was when I got here the other day. And I ended up with like 3 or 4 pieces left over after I rebuilt it, and I was a little confused, but it worked.
So you've got so many colors represented here, but are there other Lego colors that you haven't been able to get enough pieces in yet, or something you'd like to add to the future?
There certainly are other Lego colors, a lot of them. Although there's a few colors where there's only a couple pieces. Some of the chrome colors, for example, like chrome gold, chrome silver, there's some mostly accessories and other pieces, but there's not nearly enough pieces to kind of make a whole frame or a structure out of it. And then there's a few colors that are now retired that they made. It was like maybe they made a base plate or something else in it. I think I forget the name, but there's a weird color that I think it was Ron's hair in some of the early Harry Potter sets. It's got Ron's hair, and then there's like a broom, and those are the only 2 pieces that come in that color, or a few of the pieces. So those I probably won't make. I don't know. There's a couple that I think there's enough pieces out there that I could actually make them someday, but it'll be a trudge to find them all and to get it assembled.
And when we come to Portland, we love visiting your Bricks and Minifigs store here in Portland as well. Fantastic place. So since you do work there, when people bring in some of these more unique colors, are you keeping an eye out for that? And you're like, oh, I'll be able to use this in the layout and continue to add to it?
It certainly is a huge benefit that I own the Bricks and Minifigs here in Portland, because I see things as they come in, and just walking around the store during the day, out of the corner of my eye, I'll see a piece in a bright green, and I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen that, so I can grab it and keep it. I try not to do that too much because I want to leave everything for everybody else to find, but obviously it helps having kind of first crack at specialty stuff that comes in, and just having the store's been there for now. I've owned it for about 3 years, but it's been there overall for 9 years, I think. So we have 9 years of stuff built up in the back, and that's like saying about the silver. Tim that used to work there, he is a veritable encyclopedia of Lego knowledge, and he would set aside all the pieces that were either kind of rare or unique or valuable, and so I had a whole drawer of that metallic silver to kind of dig through and pick from to build that. There's probably not many people around that would have that much just sitting in a drawer waiting to be used. So obviously a huge advantage and benefit of being there is that, and to build them just kind of over time, because even though it's set out like a big wall right now, it's really all individual units that I built all separately, and just take them out, take the colors out, see if I had enough to build it, and then kind of keep moving through them. So I didn't have to do all of it at once, and I could see what I needed or see what I found as I went through.
Fantastic work. Thank you so much for taking us through so many of the different rooms here. And it's just so much fun to walk up and see the variety of colors here, but then pick apart a lot of the details in each building there as you kind of pick out each piece. So I can't wait to see more of what you do in the future. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you.